Hello everybody, we're back again with some more AC Black Flag. We're now in the present day, or should I say modern day. Let's look at our little statues that we've collected. Yeah, we've got Templar Kenway, Pirate Kenway, Steed Bonnet, Blackbeard, Calico Jack, Hornigold, Vane, Torres, Mary. I'm pretty sure that the others are probably otherly related. Oh look, there's Kenway as when he got to London. Nice that, isn't it? Anyway, so let's have a look. So there is no active mission log. These are messages that would have been coming throughout all the game. There's also a diary which is related to, again, from our first week of work to our second week of work to our third week. Sorry, I don't mean to go through this quickly, but I like to. Ending up in the fourth week, and then slowly but surely going from there to the fifth week, where we meet, funnily enough, Ayita or John from IT or Bartholomew Roberts. Yeah. Also, if we hacked all the computers, we get a message from Bill. And then these strange notes contain the ravings of a rather fanatical individual, and when they are arranged in the right sequence, they reveal a bizarre symbol of a kind. Religious, perhaps, or something else. So, if we have a look on the files, and just take a look at notes, for example. So, if we go all the way down, so the manifesto of the instruments of the first will. These are the sticky notes, and there's 20 of them. So, the first one, the manifesto of the instruments of the first will, writ by a true disciple, this day, 21st of October 2013, in anticipation of the anniversary of her ascension. May she guide us into the grey. I wonder who this is about. Being that life is both sacred and profane, priceless and worthless, fleeting and internal, we submit. Being that life can be as easily construed from a primordial swamp as from a stinking petri dish, we submit. Being that those who came before imbued us with life and may remove it as readily should we defy or deny their original plan, we submit. Being that it is well understood that tools, homes, cars, cutlery, pencils, tables, books, chairs, domesticated animals, light bulbs, mobile phones, sex toys, vacation homes, sofa lounge chairs, swimming pools, and continue, or etc., are indirect byproducts of our genotypical expression, otherwise known as extended phenotypes, we submit. It was in the 17th and 18th century the world became an indecent place, rent of its original purpose during the age of industrial revolution. Here it was the machine of industry we unleashed in such grand quantities, quite without understanding the unwound motives and purpose of their own inert as they were. The machines we made shaped us in turn and took hold of our impulses, and our minds, small as they are, gripped us like an iron maiden bleeding us empty. It was our poor understanding of our origins that led us to originate tools we were incapable of understanding or controlling. As if cotton gin was not enough, one day our sweaters and undershirts might talk to us as if we were not enough. Take, for instance, gunpowder, which gave us great mastery over fire. Take, for instance, Daguerreotype, which wrapped our way into seeing true seeing true life. Okay? Take the light bulb that gave us light when none were necessary. Take the automobile that sped us along at velocities capable only of killing us in the new and silly ways. I mean, all true, but continue. Take the cinema, which gave us lies, as a man once said 24 times per second. Ugh. Take the phonograph, which preserves noise, which ought to be ephemeral. Ephemeral? Take the television, which is obviously stupid. Take video games, which are secretly stupid, and you all know you wish you were there. Wish there were more pornography. You know. I think this. Hold on a second. Take video games, which are secretly stupid, and you all know you wish there were more pornography. You know you do. I mean, they're not wrong, but let's continue. Take saturated fats and high fructose corn syrups, which poison us, and soy, which has been known to make men into women. Based! Wow. Can't say that today, can you? Take computers which count so fast we cannot keep up, nor should we, for we are imperfect race of distinguished shells of tissue and bone, incomplete in and of ourselves. We must have masters to survive. We must have masters to survive. We must admit our masters. 9. Admit them and submit to them. Yes, we submit that by being ourselves the product of an advanced yet earthbound race of intelligent humanoids, we must also therefore be tools ourselves and subject to the intents and purposes of our creators despite our limited agency. Yes, we submit that we are such tools as such have a purpose befitting a tool. We submit we are like hammers and wrenches and shovels made for a specific purpose, not our own. We submit that our purpose is indivisible from the will of those who came before. We submit ourselves, our bodies, and our minds utterly. Remember that our relentless impertinence, hollow drive to achieve everything our forebears did, had led us to many embarrassments and disasters: nuclear weapons, super viruses, genetically modified poison food, toxic air, plastic sea wrack, and sea spawn. And the list goes on and on. You can look it up for yourselves on the internet. But all this too had a secret purpose in the end. Today, Abstergo Templar frauds have given themselves a base practice and claim wrongly that man and woman are delicate and sensible and feeling creatures in and of themselves, and therefore deserve the sanity and comfort and mindlessness in the presence of pleasure. Nothing could be sicker, falser, disgusting lying bastards. Bloody hell. Our purpose is not ours to achieve, but ours to be received, given by her graces and instruction. Death to the false fabricators of pleasure and bloody hell, indolences. Sorry. The old order must be restored and the new order destroyed. True Templars dedicated to order and stability and peace, through application of her iron will, and not through a dulling satisfaction of pleasure and indolence. Fucking hell. My nose is very itchy. The new order is a disease. And Juno, may she guide us into the grave. Fucking hell. Will be our cure. Remember this, remember that it was in the 18th century, slipping into the next, that the sickness took hold and men began to believe they were a part individual of the original plan. Men shunned the plan, called us slaves, when we were only fulfilling our duty. Then revolutions in America and France bled into evolutions, and more into revolutions into more revolutions into Russia and Mexico and India, and the sickening list goes on as men and women fought and died for the right to be indolent and sick and pleasured. But she, may she guide us into the grey, she returned after a sleep of tens of thousands of millennia. We submitted to live and work at her side, we the instruments of the first will. Remember that our relentless impertinence hollow derives to achieve everything our forebears did, has led to many embarrassments and disasters. Nuclear weapons, supervised systematically modified poison foods, toxic air. Have I gone? Hang on, I thought you just repeated that. Hold on. No, it's probably just, maybe it's just me. As tools are genetic expressions of our mental cultural activities, yeah, as we are expressions of their mental cultural activities, it must necessarily follow that this world, as it is now, and as it ever will be, is an expression of the first will, an expression of their labours, and thus belonging not to us but to them. The wires, the cables, the data networks, that now crisscross the globe are hers. They must become her body and her mind. Ooh. What she once wrought hath wrought anew, and will resurrect her into a new form. Beautiful, 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 yes. The world, all its digital technology, is now an expression of her life, and her work began over 80,000 years ago. And now she's come to reclaim them. She, beloved, beautiful Juno, may she guide us into the grey. Into the grey, the digital frontier, the singularity, the space in which she dwells between both made of light and the embodiment of darkness. This we call the grey. Being that we are the instruments of her will, instruments of the first will, the original will, we submit this credo to the world. We submit ourselves to eternal servitude in the service of the grander fulfillment. We submit the world to itself, it being a product that feeds life to life and death to death. May she, mother, sister, wife, lover, friend, bring to darkened mind and humility into those who succour on for its wisdom. Guide us into the grey, beloved. Guide us. I mean, it's weird, but continue. I don't want to get in trouble for playing any of these videos, so I'm not going to. Chapter 3. This is from the Assassin's Creed Black Flag book written by Oliver Bowden, so you could technically buy this book if you wanted to. It's a long list of a read. Like, really long. Which is why I'd say it'd be more beneficial to actually read the book. And these are emails that were shared across between many different people in Abstergo Entertainment, and probably even with Abstergo Industries as well. But if there's one thing that I would say is about the Sample 17 project, which is Desmond's lineage. So, if we get to this part here, so there are a few things to point out. We have got the 12th century, which would be the Holy Land Crusades, which would be Altair, and Altair is from the maternal line. The parental line from the 15th to 16th century, funny enough, is Ezio, right? In the 18th century, we get the American colonies and the War of Independence. So that is definitely the Kenways, and somewhere in between, obviously, is the Edward. But then we look at this, like, so in the 19th century, New England and the American Midwest. So in the 1800s, cowboys and shit. The maternal line, we get the 13th century of Egypt and North Africa. That would be interesting. I would imagine, considering how Altai's bloodline went, they left the Holy Land, and I know that Darim went to Egypt, Alexandria to be precise, so we could technically have had a game following Darim. We've also got the 14th century of Ashikaga shogunate in Japan. We could have had a Japanese game in the 14th century. In the 18th century, French Revolution. I know many would probably turn around and say we had unity, but this, yeah. 19th century, the Napoleonic Wars, Taiwan. And then, funnily enough, in the 20th century, the Summer of Love, American Pacific Coast. And these are only a small sample of Desmond's heritage. So, I mean, it's possible that Ubisoft could do something. And I mean, keeping in mind this, right? Some of this art here, right? Some, not all, but some of this art is it's fandom, it's fan art. Not to mention, right, the moment that we all saw this originally, when this game first came out, the moment we started seeing these images, we were thinking at the time, yes, we're going to go to the Revolution, we're going to be going to the Midwest, we're potentially going to get World War One. Well, we've already been to Italy, so that doesn't matter, but Egypt. And this looked more redefined, this Egyptian image that we're looking at here, especially with the pyramids being built. This one looked like it was more of a teaser of what was to come, but apparently it all went dead, and then eventually we got ourselves Origins. I'm not disappointed with Origins, but I often wonder what we could have gotten. Anyway, this is about Bloom. This was about the first Watch Dogs game, so there's a bit of things. There's a chat log here between Olivier and Mel. So, yeah, talking about things which stuff which is about Templars, I guess. I mean, this is Abstergo. And this as well, it's kind of like a mini sort of thing about how they would sell the Animus to everyone, but as Helix, and all over the globe, and all it would require is just a sample of DNA. The glass vials. Then we have Abstergo Industries. This is the glimpses of the different Animus programs they had going on at the time. This one is the Animus that Daniel Cross has put in his comic book series, and then obviously the Animus we get to know as, and yeah, Divine Science, and then there's Crypto History, which is based on artifacts. The Antikythera mechanism, it is real as what it is. People still say today, and this is in the real world context here, it is a strange device. There isn't really much known except potentially it could be a computer. I know that might sound strange, but that is generally the consensus. There is the I was about to say the Iraq battery, but the Baghdad battery. So, like this one, a mystery that has puzzled scientists for decades. The Baghdad battery ultimate secrets has finally been discovered. This year, researchers at Abstergo Industries determined that these batteries contained at one time a synthetic precursor element capable of producing power by harnessing energy generated by the passage of time, eerily similar to what theoretically physics have called time crystals. This unknown crystalline material was able to generate a tiny but unlimited levels of energy simply by siphoning energy from the passage of time itself. Though the resulting power was likely enough to power a small LED, resulting in a humble but indiscriminately affect the means of producing light. To date, a functioning precursor time crystal has not been located. Perhaps maybe this is the silica that we found, in Origins. The crystal vials. The blood vials. Little is known about the function of these blood vials, though dozens have been found since Abstergo took an interest in their rediscovery at some point in the 1980s. To date, only 3 have been found with their original contents intact, and of these, only 1 contains a confirmed sample of precursor DNA. Abstergo Industries executives have expressed in particular interest in locating more of that DNA, and if possible, sample of our so-called matriarchal Eve. As far-fetched as this sounds, please take special care to identify any vials you may stumble upon in a memory replay. Unfortunately, as an average half-life of DNA is a mere 500 years, any sample old enough to belong to either source is 8,000 years plus. So it's not going to be possible for them to actually get any DNA from them. The crystal skulls. Yeah. The discs, funnily enough, they actually do mention the discs that Altair had, and then eventually Ezio. And in the canon sense, for modern day, no one knows where the discs are that contain Altair's memories. The assassins definitely hid them well. And then we have the Voynich manuscript. And then we've got locations. Yeah, definitely a first civilization site. Bermuda Triangle, definitely a first civilization site. Different tombs and pyramids and Masonic areas are Masonic mine areas, precursor sites. Easter Island, precursor site. Lake Vostok, again, precursor site. We could go on and on. And then there's Divine Science. This isn't a video, this is a presentation. It's very long. Subject 1. Name was redacted. It was recorded at some point between the late 1981 and early 1982. I suppose we could play this. It shouldn't really be that long.
February 12, 1981. Qualitative personal interview with Subject 1 on ancestral research regarding Avalon de Grand Prix. How are you feeling? Any side effects?
Not really. Aside from the headaches. They've been worse since I started staying in longer. But I don't want to stop. I like her. I want to know what she does next.
What's it like? Reliving her memories.
So different. The Animus, I mean. The past. At first it was confusing. Distracting. Like New Orleans, the stench. I wasn't expecting all the smells.
Smell is the sense most directly linked to memory.
When I'm in her memories, it's like I can smell more than I usually can.
In general, women have a more acute sense of smell than men do. I had wondered how that would translate. Anything else?
Yeah. She's smaller than me, but it's like her body could do more.
Did that surprise you?
At first, yeah. The ERA people might hate me for this or whatever, but I don't usually think of girls that way. Climbing, things. My mom, my sisters. The animal feeling of Aveline sinking her hidden blade into the throat of...
Go on.
It doesn't feel feminine. What I think of as feminine. But then at the same time it does. Her center of gravity is way lower. That was a surprise. How easy it is to land. How steady I am on her feet. Sorry. This is hard to talk about.
No, it's fascinating. This is what we need. Pure experience, in your own words.
Okay. Can you tell me about Gerald Blunk? What about him?
He and Evelyn were close, but we haven't been able to ascertain if he might be your missing ancestor. Do her memories suggest anything to you? Does this make you uncomfortable? Remember, these are her memories. You're just playing them back. It's not even acting. You're a researcher.
Like you say, I haven't experienced her consummating anything. That would be... Anyway, I think maybe she was confused.
Oh.
Well, first of all, I don't really know for sure, okay? I mean, guys think about sex more than girls, right? That's a fact.
As a researcher, what did you observe?
Does it mean she's more like a guy if she thinks about... Is that why she's able to assassinate... Well, okay, here's the thing. I don't know her thoughts, but from what's in her memories, physically, the fidgeting, some hesitation, what she looked at, who she looked away from, the things she didn't say when I expected her to. If I had to guess what it meant, I would think she was thinking about sex. But I'm a guy, so I would think that, right? So what does it mean for women to act that way? It has to mean something else, right?
As a subject, you're able to observe more finely than I am in review. What about unwanted attention from men?
Well, I thought that would be the hardest thing to deal with. I'm not into that, for the record. Not at all.
Yes, I know.
But the way she dealt with it, it happens so often. It's like you stop noticing everything she does to avoid it. Crossing the street, eyes in the back of her head. She knew how to handle herself. When she was charming, felt kind of similar to killing. Or the build-up to killing. Can we take a break, Mr. Vidic?
Of course. Ready to go on?
Yes.
Evelyn was black.
And white. On her father's side.
You're sensitive to that?
I guess. I mean, I'm white. Evelyn looks black, so that's different. But you get used to it. Like with the girl thing. Until someone makes you not used to it.
What do you mean?
I don't think I've ever had to think so much about what I'm wearing or how I'm walking. But Evelyn, it's like she goes through her whole life in these uniforms.
People expect her to behave in a certain way.
Definitely. Sometimes I worry I'll slip up and play too relaxed at the warehouse and, I don't know, blow her cover.
You can't blow her cover.
I know. I'm just replaying the memories. I can't change them, I know. But I see it, right? It's a risk. It's...
Stressful?
Yes. It's best when she goes out as an assassin. On the roofs or in the bayou. I think she was more relaxed that way. Can you imagine? You're only relaxed when you're going to kill someone.
Let's stick to memories rather than imagination. What about the slaves?
They're kind of just... everywhere. I mean, that sounds bad. Slavery is bad, but no one's acting like slavery's bad. It's fun when she frees slaves. Is it supposed to be fun?
We're not looking for supposed to. Focus on what it is.
Interesting. So, Evelyn's Evelyn's descendant was the first test subject in the Animus program. And considering that it would have been one of the oldest memories that they had started to delve in, meaning that the person that's working at Abstergo is obviously a descendant to Evelyn and is just going through her memories. Now, this guy is expressing exactly how he feels. Now, he is a descendant of an assassin, which means to Abstergo they can't let him go once they're done. So, the more he stays with the memories, the more he's going to feel like an assassin should. I mean, giving off, let's just say, what he's like when he's working in, let's say, the warehouse, for example, he knows he has to behave in a particular way in order just to let things to pass over. But then again, he has to be brought back to reality and say, listen, you don't need to behave like this since that's not your memories, that's not your life. And he's suffering from the bleeding effect because he's been in the Animus too long. I can pick up these cues, no problem. And even point them out too. And then there's the beautiful Abstergo pack. And this man is Otto Berg, on more or less how they were able to find... Well, it wasn't him finding him, it was Otto Berg trying to find William Miles, I think. Yeah. Okay, I can't play the memories. These are photos of, well, the time that Desmond was with the gang. Oh, bless me, I'm terribly sorry. Oh, I didn't want to sneeze. We'll head to Subject 0. Now, funnily enough, there was no official Subject 0, but we have audio files relating to them. So, an audio file recorded from a collection of reel-to-reel tape found in the residence of the late Dr. Warren Vidic.
Timestamp August 16th, 2013. The following audio clips were selected from over 160 hours of reel-to-reel tape found in the residence of the late Dr. Warren Vidic following his murder in December 2012. According to labels on the tape's canisters, these recordings were made over a 14-month period between 1980 and 1981 without the consent of their primary subject, Mrs. Eileen Bach, a colleague of Dr. Vidic's and the originator of Abstergo's surrogate initiative. Mrs. Bach is now deceased. It should be stated unequivocally that Dr. Vidic made these recordings illegally and of his own volition using wiretaps and hidden microphones. Abstergo Industries had no knowledge of his actions and disavows any responsibility for them.
And we're live. Capacitors at full. Ease the signal in. A little more. You feel anything?
Don't be timid. Double it.
No, we're taking it easy. 20%.
30.
Eileen, go easy. We're 6 past yesterday.
And boost the inputs.
Too risky.
Not if we split the I/O signals.
25%. He's up.
Oh, okay. There. I see something.
What is it?
Mein Gott. I hear talking.
You're okay?
Ja, ich höre Stimmen. It's German. Mein Name ist Miriam Kurz. I see a light. It's cold. Ich werde nichts sagen. There's a man with me. Mehr werde ich nicht sagen.
Keep an eye on our fighters.
Mein Name ist Miriam Kurz und ich bin eine Navajo. Des Hitlers Zwang, der macht uns klein. Noch liegen wir in Ketten. Doch einmal werden wir wieder frei. Wir werden die Ketten schon brechen.
Eileen?
Denn unsere Fäuste, die sind hart, ja. Und die Messer sitzen lose. Für die Freiheit der Jugend kämpfen Navajos.
Switch off.
Powering down.
Kämpft Navajos.
Get her out of there. Oxygen from the valve.
No. No, Satish, I'm fine, really.
Quit the heroics. Just breathe. Better?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Did we get something?
It'll take a while to parse. What did you see?
It wasn't just seeing. It was feeling. Being. I was scared.
You were shouting in German.
I think I was in Germany. I was in Germany, Satish.
Good morning. Well rested?
Exhausted. Yesterday was an incredible find.
Seems so. What did it feel like?
It's foggy, but I relived the memories of a young German woman. Early 20s, I think. A man was interrogating me, looming over me and asking questions. He was shouting, but I was shouting back. And then this poem just came out, like a chant.
Fascinating. I'm eager for you to hear the tape.
Is it ready?
Yes, we transliterated the data onto an audio file. It took all night to process the language.
Spool it up.
Of course, have a seat. Judging by the subject matter and the setting, I'd say you landed somewhere in Germany in the 1940s, 1 or 2 generations back. During the war, I'd imagine.
1940s Germany? That would be Miriam Kurtz, my ex-husband's mother.
So she's not related to you in any way?
God, I hope not. I'd hate to find out my ex-husband is also my brother.
Well, if it was Miriam Kurtz, then we hit a home run. You tapped into someone else's bloodline entirely.
Should we celebrate?
We'll listen first.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 23, July 29th, 1980. Host, Eileen Bach. DNA sample SB1970.
It's a little garbled at first. This is you settling into the memory.
Your name, say it.
My name is Miriam Kurtz.
Louder.
My name is Miriam Kurtz, and I am Navajo.
Where did you last see the artifact? Who holds it now?
I'll say nothing. I've told you all I will.
I don't believe that is true. Who has the artifact?
Hitler's dictates make us small, and are bound in chains. But one day again, we shall walk tall. No binds with us, restrain.
Enough!
For hard our fists, yes, and the knives at our wrists for you to be free. Navajos lay siege.
Knock her away!
Navajos lay siege.
And that's where we pull you out.
Whoa. What would it take to get a visual render of all that?
Months, unfortunately. It took 13 hours just to process the audio. Visual takes much longer.
But Vidic is able to record audio and visual in real time. How does he do it?
His subjects are exploring their own genetic memories. That requires much less processing power.
Hold on, sorry. Eileen here.
Hello. You have 10 o'clock in Lillian's office. It's 10:13 now.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Tell her I'll be right there. And tell her we have some good news.
No problem.
You in trouble?
The monthly progress report. I'm trying to be honest about our progress, but no matter how much I polish our facts, Warren Vidic swoops in, promising the moon for pennies, and gets 10 times the funding for his Animus project.
Well, we are using his Animus technology. He's the foundation. We are the skyscraper.
Which is why he should be a tech lead, not a project director. Good work, Satish.
It's incredible footage, really. Clear and vivid. And the subject was synced for a full 62 minutes. Came out speaking French after his last session. Passably fluent. And with full recall of everything he'd gone through.
Sorry I'm late. I was reviewing some data.
It's fine. Warren was just telling me about his first subject, Mr.
No names. Call him Subject 1. Confidentiality.
And how about you, Eileen? What's your good news?
Well, we did it. We synced with an unembedded memory outside the bloodline. That's a first.
Really?
Satish was able to process the audio today. A short clip. You can hear it for yourself.
Only audio? No real-time memory feeds like Vidic has?
Well, that's the difficulty with surrogate genetic memory data. Because I'm viewing memories not embedded in my own DNA, we can't rely on my cognitive faculties to help me process the signal. All we can do is record the raw data and transliterate it later.
Hold on. You're running this experiment on yourself?
I am. It's going well.
I don't like the sound of that.
Look, the sample I'm using, the DNA comes from my own son. It's safer this way.
Ah, good thinking.
50% of my son's DNA is also mine, which reduces the danger by a huge margin. Meaning, I can now explore the memories of people who aren't directly related to me on his father's side.
But for brief periods of time, I imagine.
Right. Just a minute or two so far, but we're getting there. Come by the lab and listen for yourself.
I will, when I have a moment. Unfortunately, work beckons. Ladies?
That man is colder than a San Francisco summer.
Stay focused, Eileen. You both have important work to do.
Obviously. But my work requires his Animus technology. I feel a little caged in.
That's collaboration, Eileen. It's how science works. I shouldn't have to remind you.
I know. I'm just tired. Stop by and see us today. We have a lot to share.
If not today, then this week sometime.
Thank you.
Interesting, eh? Only a few more to go.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 27, October 21st, 1980. Host Eileen Bach, DNA sample SB1970.
Miriam, my dear girl, there is no good reason for you to be here. But your intransigence requires that I detain you until you give me information I can act upon. The location of the artifact, perhaps, or the whereabouts of your leader, Bartle Shink. Just a little something to give Minister Goebbels some encouragement that we are on the right track.
How about a nice hug? He looks so sad in all his photographs.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? Perhaps you could pay him a visit yourself. He likes beautiful women. Actresses, musicians.
Pirates?
That's right, pirates. Pirates of the Edelweiss. Isn't that what you kids call yourselves? It's very amusing. And illegal, of course.
Breaking Hitler's laws is half the fun.
Oh, I imagine so. I imagine you were having a wonderful time just before we captured you on your search of friends.
And that's the end of it.
Damn it. Why can't we sustain the signal for more than just a few minutes? I need to relax.
That's not the issue. This is dangerous work. These memories aren't in your bloodline. That's why it's not holding.
There's got to be a solution.
Any idea what they mean by the artifact? I've heard it a few times now.
Not sure. I don't think Miriam knew either. Not much comes into her mind when she asks about it.
But she's protecting the other members of her group, the Edelweiss Pirates or something?
Yeah. Bartol Shink. Have we looked him up?
No, we can.
We should. Put your intern on it.
Right. High priority.
Yeah. This isn't getting any easier. Jesus.
Hello?
Hi, Seamus. It's Mom.
Hey.
How are you?
Dad! It's Mom!
Hello, Eileen.
Hi, Carl. How's Seamus?
Great. We were out shopping for school clothes.
Yeah. The summer just sped by.
They all do.
I never seem to notice. No windows in the office.
Right. Trapped in a lab. So, did you need to talk?
Yes, sorry. I was curious about your mother, actually.
Oh. Okay.
How much did she talk about the war when you were growing up?
Not often. Bits and pieces. Why?
I was doing some research last week about World War II, and something came up about the Edelweiss Pirates, or the Navajos, and your mother's name popped up.
Really? That's an odd coincidence.
Does any of that ring a bell?
Yeah. Mom ran with that group while the war was on. There were a group of kids who wanted to avoid the Hitler Youth programs, but in later years they escalated their activities to, bigger ideas like vandalism and sabotage.
But why Navajos and pirates?
Just some of the names they used. Navajos, Edelweiss Pirates, you know, kids. There were little pins, little white flowers. I may still have hers.
That's interesting.
And this is for work? Researching my mother?
Not exactly, but... Sorry, I can't talk about it.
Right. You never could.
Hey, don't. I didn't mean to be flippant.
No. Don't mind me. All for the greater good.
I like to think so.
Power down. You all right?
Damn it! 5 months of this bullshit! We're floundering.
Take it easy, Eileen. You're just stressed.
I am not stressed. I'm frustrated. I'd like to go again this afternoon.
No. There is no reason to rush this.
We're hardly rushing. We're running into the same wall over and over again. Why can't we push through? Why can't you keep me in Animus longer than 2 minutes?
Because surrogate genetic memory data is fragile. The EEG is exploding and your brain is doing too much work. The longer you stay in, the more damage it does. It's even possible that...
Possible that...
It's possible the memories we're digging into could eventually overwrite your own. Like information on a tape drive. There's just not enough space in your head to do both.
Here I come to save the day! Good afternoon, all.
Did you invite him?
No.
But you did. Remember?
That was months ago, Warren. What do you need?
I wanted to stop by. Check on your progress.
Well, apparently it's still too dangerous to keep me under for more than a few minutes.
I always suspected that would be your biggest hurdle. The genetic memory sequencing is the easy part, if time-consuming. But the replay, that's something else.
Yes?
Let's think this through. My subjects are diving into their own genetic memories, so the information is already encoded in their heads.
Which means the Animus has less work to do. Less computing, less parsing.
Right. So to get your surrogate data working, to let people experience foreign memories, it'll take a hell of a lot more processing power than anyone has. Even Abstergo Industries.
Ideally, we'd like to build an external processor that mirrors as many brain functions as possible. Something to handle the calculations.
But the cost and upkeep of that would be...
astronomical. Let me see what I can do. I have some sway with Lillian. We won't build Rome in a day, but if we focus on the pretty buildings first, maybe we'll achieve something.
Thank you, Warren.
Till next, folks.
Now you see, this is interesting. The whole surrogate thing is interesting because these documentations, or better still, these audio files, are the precursors to what would later become the Helix project. So, if you think about it, they had to start somewhere. With Dr. Vidic being able to play an ancestral memory from the actual descendant, imagine, let's just say, if all you had was the DNA of the descendant, let's just, or of the ancestor, but you didn't have a descendant to live it. So you'd have to have somebody to play the memory or live through it, and this is what they're going through. Let's continue.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 32, January 11th, 1981. Host Eileen Bach. DNA sample SB1970.
Miriam? Miriam, is that you? Are you in here?
Bartle!
Oh, thank God you're safe. You've been very sick.
Bartle, how did they find you? Oh, Jesus, what would they do to you?
Has they hurt you? That's all.
I told them nothing. All they do every day is ask about you and that artifact. But I didn't tell them anything. Nothing.
I know you didn't, Miriam. But how are you? You aren't hurt?
Not badly, no. I'm fine.
Good. We need to get the message out to Oscar. Somehow. We need to tell him where...
Very interesting footage, Eileen. This is Germany, you said. World War II?
Most of the memories I've been able to access come from a period where Miriam was imprisoned by Nazis in Cologne.
Miriam. Is she still alive?
No, she was my ex-husband's mother. She passed away about 5 years ago.
Well, she was spirited. An impressive lady.
Definitely.
And the man, Bartle. He made reference to an artifact. Any idea what that is?
My team is looking into that, but it's not our first priority. We still need...
It is now.
Really?
You must have other recordings of this woman. Are there any other mentions of this artifact I should know about?
Half a dozen or so, yes. What's this about?
You have questions, I understand that. I don't have answers for you. Not right now, but I do have money. And if you get me those recordings and bring me any other artifact references you find, then I will triple your operating budget for as long as I can.
Triple my budget?
My God, what is this? 9 a.m. Monday morning, my office. We have a lot to discuss.
But Lillian, I don't...
Have a good weekend, Mrs. Bach. Fantastic work.
Hello, this is Carl.
Hi, it's Eileen.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Busy. Cold. The winter's been terrible.
Seamus won't like that. The weather's been mild out here.
Well, he's only coming for a month. He'll live. And I'll be so busy he won't have to worry about his mother bothering him.
Still working 12-hour days.
I should move a bed into my lab.
Look, if you're too busy, Seamus can stay with me.
No. I want to see him. We'll have fun.
You're not too busy to be a mom and a genius.
Of course not.
His flight lands at 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night. You'll be there?
Of course. 8:15.
p.m. Let him know you'll be there.
Thanks, Carl. I need to run. I'm sorry. Take care.
You too.
Eileen. Didn't see you come in.
I'm not interrupting?
No, it's fine. The subject is unconscious. He's traipsing around 18th century New Orleans right now, in the memories of a woman.
That must feel odd. How long has he been under?
83 minutes.
Whoa.
It's average. What can I do for you?
I just wanted to thank you for sending Lillian to see me. She came away very impressed.
There. You see? All these bureaucrats need is a little glimpse of our secrets every so often. They like to feel like they're still in charge.
Lillian is most definitely in charge. She just tripled my budget.
Tripled? Christ, Eileen. You must have discovered who killed Kennedy.
Well, she heard something on one of my tapes that interested her. Something about an artifact. Very vague, but it was enough.
An artifact? What sort of artifact? Jesus, get him out of there! Get him out!
Oh my God.
It'll kill him! He's not decoupled! He's having a fucking seizure! Power down! Now!
Heart rate 170!
Power down! Now! Eileen, Warren here. I was all ready to apologize for the late call, but you seem to be away. Maybe with your son. Listen, since the unfortunate incident with Subject 1, there's been a lot of dire talk around the office about my Animus project. About shutting it down. About it being unsafe. Typical top brass bullshit. And if they shut me down, then your surrogate initiative goes away too. I'm sure you're already well aware of that. Well, let me be the first to reassure you. This will not happen. I will not let them take this from me. From us. I will not let one death, of an undiagnosed epileptic I should add, I will not let this destroy the decades of incredible research done by our predecessors, and the 5 years I've spent perfecting the Animus. There's still more work to be done, and countless rewards to be reaped. So I wanted you to be the first to know. I have decided to volunteer myself as my second subject. I am convinced that the Animus is perfectly safe, provided I stay within the boundaries of my own ancestral bloodline. Next week I plan to prove this by staying a full 4 hours in the Animus. I would be grateful if you and your team would monitor my progress. And after this necessary but ridiculous proof of concept, I give you my word that I will work closely with you to solve your outstanding problems. Your surrogate initiative is a bold idea, and I do believe it is the future of the Animus project. But while we have the Animus itself, I do not want to waste precious opportunities to prove its safety. I'll see you in the office on Monday. Goodbye.
Very promising.
I have now resumed the practice of dressing as a man, and have put off my woman's dress.
Why did you take it? Who made you take it?
I took it of my own free will, with no constraint. I prefer a man's dress to a woman's.
You made an oath, Jade.
You swore to never again dress as a man.
I never meant to swear that I would not resume the practice.
Why have you done so?
Because it is more lawful and suitable for me to return to the practice of wearing a man's dress, being always among men, than to have a woman's dress. I have resumed it because a promise made to me has not been.
How is he?
Our three, doing well.
Are we still in 18th century Hungary?
No. His connection is so stable, he's jumped between a few ancestors today. We're in 15th century France now. Turns out he's related to one of Joan of Arc's executioners.
Surprise.
Eileen, yesterday Vidic asked me to help him work out some of the bugs in his audiovisual renderer, and I told him...
No. Come on, Satish, not you.
It wouldn't be permanent. A few months at most.
Months? That will kill every ounce of momentum we have.
It won't, I promise. Honestly, I think this could help us. If I can get a look at what these people are doing, we could...
Come on. He's trying to pull you over to his side. Don't you see that? He's luring you with quick victory and prestige.
That's not what this is about, honestly.
I need to get back to work.
Eileen, I'm sorry.
Do what you must. I'll survive.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 32, April 2nd, 1981. Host Eileen Bach, DNA sample SB1970.
Miriam, are you awake?
What?
Miriam's coming for me.
Who is the guards?
I see them from my window amassing in the courtyard. My time is up.
Bartel, don't say this. You don't know that.
Forgive me for this, Miriam. But I must tell you something. The artifact. We have it. But only Oscar and I know its location.
Don't tell me.
They will release you. Your family has connections. You must take the artifact and bring it to the assassins in Paris.
Please don't. I don't want to know. It's safer if I don't.
Hush now. If I die, knowledge of its location dies with me. You must bring it to the assassins.
Assassins? I don't understand.
The spire of St. Petrus.
No, I don't want to hear.
Cell 7!
Hello?
Eileen, hi. It's Carl.
Carl, I know it's you.
Sorry, you just sound exhausted. Did I wake you?
No, I've just been busy.
It sounds like it.
I'm just a little tired, that's all.
No, I mean, your project sounds fascinating. Your colleague, Dr. Warren Vidic, he called me recently and he told me what you've been up to.
He what? Warren?
Yeah, he told us about your research, memories, ancestry, all of that. He even asked if we'd be willing to come in and...
No! Jesus, no! What the hell is he doing?
Eileen, it's okay. We signed some papers, non-disclosure stuff.
No! He's trying to fuck me over! Damn it!
Eileen, we just talked about my mother, just like you and I did. World War II. That's all.
It's the artifact.
The what?
Carl, if he calls you again, you tell him you work through me, okay? That's it. Vidic has been a pain in my ass for years, and I don't need him getting all the glory for my 2 years of hard work.
All right. So how should I go about this? I mean, the wheels are in motion.
I don't know. Just go through me if he contacts you again. Please?
All right.
You'll do that?
Of course. Yes.
Thank you, Carl. I'm sorry I was short with you. I've just been exhausted. That's all.
It's all right, hon. Just take care of yourself.
Morning, Eileen. We're almost ready. Just a few more adjustments.
Okay.
I had the team do some research on this artifact we've been chasing, and it appears the Third Reich actually found something matching its description sometime in 1940. Eileen, are you all right?
Sorry, yeah. I'm fine. Just a little scattered. Vidic called my ex-husband last night. He wants to put him in the Animus.
To find the artifact before us?
Exactly.
Well, it would be fast using Vidic's Animus. And maybe that would get us back to our original work.
Satish, if we let that happen, then all our money dries up. Lillian is paying for us to find the artifact, not improve our methods. Do you understand?
Right, of course.
I'm sorry. Let's just burn those bridges when we cross them. Are we ready?
Yes, just a few more adjustments, Senorian. I made a small change to the genetic input modulator. I'm hoping that buys us a few more minutes.
See you in a